Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. I have a special review today for you of 3 Kringle Christmas holiday candles, and these were released in a very limited release Mercury Glass tumblers. I believe they came available the first week of November, and then they were poured to order. So only the ones that were pre-ordered were poured essentially, and then they were shipped out in late November. They have since released a few in this line, leftovers, whatever, over pours. They released some of them during the Black Friday sale, and I believe a couple of them are still available on the website. If they are, I will check after this video and link them below. But I'm going to tell you right now that the 3 that I'm reviewing are not available. They are best sellers for Kringle, and they sold out very fast, even in the pre-ordering process. So today I have for you one of them, which is in this lovely blue Mercury. This is Blue Spruce, and Blue Spruce is a very old fragrance for Kringle. It's a returning favorite, one that I was not aware of because this was after I started buying from Kringle. So this was a big deal. Everybody wanted Blue Spruce in this sale, and I got one sold out super fast. So I've got Blue Spruce for you. In the white Mercury, I have another bestseller from Kringle, and this is Cozy Cabin. And then I have a third, which is in this green, and this is Christmas, which is another really big seller for Kringle. I believe it used to be called Oh Christmas Tree, but for the last several years, it's just been Christmas. There was also a red Mercury tumbler, but I was just interested in these 3, and I got these 3. I didn't get anything in red. So, but I do think that these are probably the biggest and most popular scents of the ones that were released. Although Cozy Cabin did hang around for quite some time because frankly, it's been out in every iteration. It's not a returning favorite, etc. And it's available in multiple formats. So Cozy Cabin was a lot easier to get, but it's probably one of their biggest sellers as a company. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with the scent notes and with the fragrances because if you're familiar with Kringle, you're familiar with these candles. But I definitely want to spend a little bit of time, especially on this first one, which was Blue Spruce. So here was this particular color. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't love this color. To me, it's a little on the garish side. And for me, it just doesn't fit quite as nicely with the white and the green and the red. It just, there's nothing particularly holiday-ish about this blue. And I can't say I'm a huge Mercury person across the board. Sometimes it's really gorgeous. Sometimes it's just what it is. For me, these are nice, but it's not like blowing my mind. And this blue, I think, is the most challenging color of the ones that they released. And I actually think it's a really big misstep. I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought, you know, I get that they were trying to go with the blue and the Blue Spruce. That makes sense. But what if they did like more of a navy or even a really deep like cobalt or royal blue, something like that? I think it would fit better with the other colors. It would look a little more classic. And here, if it was a darker blue with the silver, it would look like possibly a Hanukkah candle. And I actually think that that would have been really nice to have had a candle that is branded fairly well with traditional Hanukkah decor, etc. Kringle is not embarrassed at all by the religious imagery. Kringle is obviously coming from a Christian perspective. Everything is branded religiously in a fairly Christian way, especially for this holiday, which is refreshing on a certain hand. But the blue and silver here would not have gone amiss because it wouldn't scream, this is Hanukkah, but it would also, I think, fit a nice little niche that they probably needed. So I think it was a little bit of a misstep. All right, close parentheses. Let's talk about the scent. It smells really nice. So blue spruce trees are very unique in the fir pine varieties. And please forgive me, I'm not a botanical expert, so I may say something that's wrong here. Although my mother did buy, she saved up and she bought a blue spruce. She was very, very into flowers, and you know, I never got the bug in that respect. But I remember she was very, very proud of her blue spruce. And we went to the local nursery, I feel like every other day. It was like my second home. So in my experience, blue spruces do look significantly different than the other green, fir, pine, cedar, whatever else. And they also smell distinctively different than the other varieties of pine as well. And I can't tell you exactly how it smells, but honestly, while it smells like a pine tree, it does smell significantly different, this candle, than many of the other pine varieties, not only that Kringle offers, but that you may have smelled elsewhere. For me, there is something a little bit more muted about this particular pine scent, and it's got kind of a cleaner, but also, if you will, a little bit of spiciness to it. Almost like a black pepper slash pine. And yeah, it's just got a really unique smell. And I'm smelling this here. For sure, it's a pine, but it's soft, it's white, and it's a little bit spicy, for lack of a better term. The notes that Kringle gives us, the top is cyclamen flower, and I apologize, I do not know a whole lot about cyclamen, but I'm not smelling a whole lot that's super floral in this scent. Botanical, yes, a little bit of green for sure, and in fact, the next top notes are citron and ivy vines. So ivy vines, in my experience, when Kringle puts an ivy vine in there, you smell it. You definitely smell it. Holly and ivy candle that they released during the holiday, very ivy vines. And when they put that in, that's a strong, green, lush, botanical smell. The mid notes here are blue spruce and fir needle and amber, but I'm not detecting a whole lot of amber here. And this is not a warm yellow kind of scent. The base notes are vetiver, interestingly enough, cedarwood, and rosemary. And the rosemary may be where I'm picking up some of that pepperiness as well. It's really nice. I would say that it is a pine scent that you could very easily burn in January and February, and that it doesn't smell like a traditional Christmas tree. And frankly, most people don't have a blue spruce as a Christmas tree. They're very expensive trees. So I really like it. It is a little muted, and I'm gonna tell you that it doesn't burn particularly well. Actually, it burns fine. I've been burning it. The burn itself is fine. The throw and the strength, not great. For me, I was getting like maybe a 3 or a 4 out of this baby. Like I had to hover over it and put my nose down into the flame to really pick up the pine scent. And I don't know if it's just me, but I have to say that Melanie from Mr. Kong's mom said exactly the same thing. Hers was just not throwing, and it really wasn't providing much of a presence at all. I'm gonna put this in the candle crock, and I think she said she was going to too. I'll probably get a little bit more out of it. I don't know if it's just this particular pour that's a little on the faint side, or if blue spruce was traditionally this faint. I do think it came out first in the country line, and for me, the country candles throw a little bit better. So it's possible that in another format, you would get a pretty robust pine there. I wasn't getting a whole lot. So while it's nice, I don't know. It is what it is. Cozy Cabin, which almost needs no introduction. Cozy Cabin, top notes are brown sugar, cedar wood, and then mid cinnamon bark firewood, and base vanilla and warm maple. I think this is one of the top sellers for Kringle, and it's really great. You get a very robust sugar / smoke. I've been calling this Smoky Cabin actually. And now I have a really hard time remembering that it's Cozy Cabin because they've got Cozy Christmas and they've got Christmas Cabin. And then this is Cozy Cabin, and it's just too much. It's too much of the C's. I can't deal with it. And because the dominant note here is smoky, I just think of this as Smoky Cabin. Maybe it's about to burn down, which is kind of sad actually. It's really nice. I had a ton of holiday candles that I was smelling from Kringle and Country. You know, it was like a big haul. And my friend, who does not love scented candles very much, was smelling all of them. And when she got to this, she's like, oh my gosh, no, you know? And I did tell her, this is one of their best sellers and it's a really good candle. I said, but I have to be honest, smelling all these candles at the same time, when I get to this one, all I smell is smoke. And I knew that it was more nuanced than that. But when I was smelling it in comparison with all the rest of them, smoke was the most dominant note. All I got was smoke and maybe some sugar. And smelling it now, not up against a million other candles, honestly, sugar and smoke are the most dominant elements here. But the sugar is caramely. So it says brown sugar and warm maple. So your sugar and your maple is going to account for a sugar that's not just straight sugar, but is like a little bit caramelized as well, which is nice. I don't know that I get a lot of cinnamon bark, but it's probably there providing a little bit of sharpness. And then you get the cedar wood and the firewood, which is just providing like a nice smokiness. So this is obviously an amazing January burn. I don't know that I would mess around with it too much during the holidays, but I think that they've gone with a really great color here. It's nice and clean, snowy, perfect for January. Unfortunately, when I burned this one, very similar to the blue spruce, it gave off like a 4, maybe a 4. And I have a hard time believing that all the Cozy Cabins are this faint, because I just don't think it would have been a bestseller if it was like, you know, a 3 and a 4, which makes me think it's this poor. I knew Cozy Cabin because I had it in the tea lights. So this is the first time I've actually bought one. And I really would love to buy it in the Country line, which is my favorite of the two. And I think it would probably be a little bit more robust. I did read from a woman, I think that she said that she worked at Kringle for about 10 years. I don't know in what capacity, but she did say something about the fact that Cozy Cabin tends to start out very light in terms of its strength and throw, and then builds. And I don't know why that would be, and I'm hoping that's the case for this candle, but I think it's going in the candle crock. So I'm not terribly happy with the first two in terms of strength and throw. As much as I like them as a scent, not happy with that. However, last one, Christmas, was fantastic. And I do have to say the throw was closer to like a 6. 6 is not gonna knock your socks off, but I'll take 6 because 6 is better than 4. So Christmas is one of their really big sellers. I think it's their best seller for the Christmas season at least. And it's been around forever and ever. I believe it was called Oh Christmas Tree. And oh my gosh, this one is just so special. It really is. And Kringle has so many pine scents and so many mixed pine holiday scents. But surely this has to be one of the best, if not the best and most classic of all of them. So you smell this and it's just straight up Christmas tree. It's straight up Christmas. So the top notes here are cedar wood and musk, interestingly enough. Mid notes, sandalwood, Siberian fir needles, and base wood. So you do have a lot of like wood in there with the cedar wood, the sandalwood, the musk, and then wood in the base, just wood. That's what it says, generic wood. So you get a lot of wood. And on paper, it seems like it would be more wood forward than it is anything else, but it's pine forward and it's green forward. So the Siberian fir needles, which is just kind of tacked on there in the mid notes, is dominant. It's dominant. And then you've got the other woods to make it clear. It's a tree, it's a tree. But I would say, oh, it is a freshly cut Christmas tree. It is so much green, so much green. And then, I mean, all of those woods just are kind of filling it out. I'm a sandalwood girl. I'm not smelling a lot of sandalwood, but there is something else. So the sandalwood musk combination there is rounding it out and giving it a richness, I think. But so well mixed with the fir needles that it just seems like an amplified fir needle Christmas tree. You don't smell it and think, oh, what's behind the fir needles? There's nothing behind it. The fir needles are just complex and interesting and deep, you know? Oh, so fantastic and so pure. And I love this one. And honestly, it has a much more robust and powerful, assertive pine quality to it than the blue spruce, unfortunately. And I don't know if that's by design, that the blue spruce does tend to be a little bit less than Christmas does, you know, back in its earlier iterations, or if this pour was just not great on the blue spruce. But I would say that this carried throughout the house, and it was unmistakably a fresh and green tree, as it should be. Love, love, love. So, Christmas. Folks, you can get Christmas in any form or variety. Like I said, it's their #1 seller, I think, for Christmas. So definitely pick it up if you haven't already, and burn it early, burn it often. It is just fantastic and so classic. So that is the 3 Mercuries. I can't say I'm terribly happy with them. The aesthetic, I would give it like a 6 or a 7. And the strength on those first 2, not great. Such that if I could do this over, I think I would just have bought them in traditional formats. I am really intrigued by the soy 3 wick situation. And I'm kind of hoping that they bring back maybe blue spruce in that 3 wick, and see if you can get a fuller sense and presence from it. That would be great. Thank you so much, my friends. I am going to review a couple of my favorite holiday candles very soon, and they are not from Kringle, and they are not from Yankee, and they are not from Bath & Body Works. So I'll leave you guessing, and until then, thanks so much. Bye.